Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm usual host Joe Score and I'm joined here by Tony Tones at RT. Make sure to watch throughout the show. We're going to talk about memes, video games. We're going to be talking about Stellaris, Tony's favorite subject.
Wait, are you saying wait until the end? You'll be surprised at the end.
I'm going to say we're going to be talking about whether you can run Doom on a rat. The answer may surprise you. Make sure to stick around for that one.
This clickbait may surprise you.
How are you, Tony?
I'm doing pretty good. It's the start of. I feel like it's the start of Christmas officially this weekend. That's what I'm
Well,
feeling
if you can see my room on the camera, I have Santa Claus Christmas lights.
Oh, that's a pen camera, Joe.
A pen camera. I never expect to hear those words come from your mouth, Tony.
Wait, it's not how you're going to use those words?
No, that's how you're supposed to use it. It's just I never expected you to say it.
I was just memeing. I don't even know, but it looks different than last time, Joe.
Yeah, so I got some tech upgrades. Basically, for Black Friday, the Logitech Stream Cam was on like half off or something. It was like, I think it's normally like over 100. I think it was like 70 for Black Friday.
So there's like over 30% off then.
Yeah, I'm trying to find how much it is. Oh, it's like 140 on the Logitech website, so it may have been like 50% off, sort of thing.
Oh shit! Right. That's
yes.
Crazy.
And I was like, I've had this 720p Logitech webcam for the past 10 years. I want an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean this new one is pretty good.
Mm.
I mean it's no mirrorless Sony camera, but
I'll put on the
pretty good
light now. I just want to show the Christmas lights, but it might be a bit. The thing is, though, it's actually quite dark in my room when I had the light off, and it does like low light really well. If I had my old cam on low light, it would just be fucking. It would be looking.
That is one thing with like modern sensors or maybe like modern processing. I don't know like why it's better, but there's something where modern cameras like they can do low light way better.
I don't know, because cameras have got. Yeah, like the iPhone camera got way better at low light and stuff like that. They must like just dedicate a software. I think it's like the multiple cameras. Like it probably has like a really small IR camera, or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. But
I think that I think that's something like you use like you like.
Dave said I thought it looks better with the lights off. Okay, I see what he's saying.
Right, you want to see the Christmas lights?
Yeah, I'm just worried about it being too dark. I've basically plugged it in and I've put everything on auto. So it has autofocus. It has, auto.
Let's say it looks good.
Yeah. I think it looks fine. The problem with like this light level is as soon as I open a white web page, you're going to know it's a white web page, as you can see now. You see what I'm saying with that light level?
Well, isn't that what you're meant to get like streaming lights like light your face up anyway?
It was like I was playing Tricky Towers yesterday like this, and I was showing my friends the webcam, and it was like we started playing a red level, and then in this light level, my entire face was just like red from the Tricky Towers screen.
I actually had on my monitor the stupid light output it has.
And something else you may notice, hopefully the audio quality is a lot better. I've gone from the tiny little Samsung Meteorite to the Shure SM7B.
For those who may have skipped a few episodes, we had to move away from the Yeti. The blue Yeti, that is. It was. Yeah, it goes to the point like it was like buzzing like all the time, right? Like every time we tried to start, it would buzz just randomly.
So this is what this is the mic the podcast was on for like the longest time.
Yeah. But now
see the autofocus.
You've leveled up what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, so I got the streamer setup basically. I got the Rode PSA 1 and the Shure SM7B and the Go XLR Mini.
You got like the proper audio setup.
So yeah.
I think you're just missing the streamer lights now, like your face up.
What, like the nano leaves?
No, well in the background. No, I'm like pointing at you, like behind the monitor sort of thing.
The only issues it works perfectly all the time, but it's still there's some sort of power fluctuation in my house where buzzing sometimes just goes into my mic like non-stop, and it's the only thing I've been able to track it to so far is it seems like when my parents were using the washing machine and the tumble dryer, which is like directly below my room and is possibly on the same power circuit that I'm using, it just makes the microphone go crazy. And I think that's what's causing it, but I haven't 100% confirmed it yet. So if my mic goes crazy during this podcast, I'm going to try and figure it out, but hopefully it should be fine. And you shouldn't get like crazy static noise. My fingers crossed that it doesn't do that while we're recording.
Yeah.
But that's that, because that's an issue I had with the Yeti. And I think that was also caused by the fact that I just had crazy power fluctuations in my house.
Yeah.
Because of
But
there was interference and stuff.
It's odd that the Meteor didn't do it and the Yeti was getting worse though. So
But
like a combination of things.
I think the thing with the Yeti is it's such a small microphone. I think it wasn't picking up as much. Where the Yeti is like a condenser microphone, it's picking up everything. Because they say with like, especially with stuff like XLR cables and stuff like that, it can act as an antenna for that sort of stuff. Whereas like a small USB device is not going to act as much as an antenna for that sort of.
Yeah. Because like XLR, the problem with like XLR like cables is like not only does it pick up like RF, like it also like sends sound as a signal down it as well. Like if you like start tapping it, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, because I found when the interference happens, if I touch the XLR cable, I can make it like quieter, like the interference sort of thing.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
but
weird. Yes, we don't know what's going on with that.
Nope.
Neither of us are like big into audio stuff.
I've watched audio engineers with whiteboards trying to explain this, and they're like, yeah, this is really fucking complicated, and I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Anyway, shall we?
One day we'll get it. Yeah. We get started.
There's a quick tech review on the microphone. It was pretty complicated setup. I wouldn't recommend it for like first time people to try and set up this sort of setup.
Did it take like a day to like get it like all?
A couple days. Yeah, I watched like a million YouTube videos.
Well, I assume you watched like a million YouTube videos before buying all the stuff. Right?
Yeah, basically, I was like, how do I set this up? What should I get with it? Oh, I want to use, because one thing I had to figure out is like usually when you get like an XLR amp, you're like, I want to monitor this with wired headphones. It's like, I want to use wireless headphones. How do I do that? So
yeah. How do you do that? But it's just like a normal USB hub. It's not like a fancy like pass-through hub that may be able to do that for you.
So I have the Logitech ones, so they don't have like a hub. It's just a dongle. But
yeah.
I'm just plugged. I just got a 3.5mm jack plugged out of the headphone out into the line in of the PC, and then it's just using the connection between the headphones and the dongle through the PC to give the audio.
Okay.
But yeah. Should we move on to the trailers?
Yeah, and to the Stellaris.
Yeah. Stellaris news. Switch over. Also, the shot's really wide angle. I don't know if I'm going to keep this wide angle because it's gone from 720p to 1080p, and it's sort of more of a wide angle lens, so you can see like my bed with a Santa Claus on it. You can see my curtains. You can see the pegs. Can you see the pegs?
Zoom in or something?
The pegs I use to keep my curtain shut because they're actually too short.
Right, that makes sense.
But yeah. Tony, Stellaris Aquatic update. I believe it's called. It was named the Herbert update after the writer of Dune.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Mm.
But so I guess it's two that we got the aquatic DLC and we've got the
aquatic species pack.
Update. Yeah.
Mm.
I really like the look of these ships, by the way. They're really cool.
Well, one of the first things that got announced was the ship browser, so you can basically see all the ships for all of the races before you like commit to one, sort of thing.
Yeah, before it would just show you the science ship. It would update the colors based on your flag, but it would only show. It would only show the science ship, and that's not. A lot of the science ships are weird and not entirely representative like of like the military ships or like the construction ship or like your the stations, for example, is like they can be very different from the ships themselves, and it's just nice to be able to like look through all of these things now. Apparently, So this apparently was like in the last update. Apparently they rolled it out so half the people got given this new browser.
Oh right. So only they were
I was not
testing
one of
it.
them. Yeah, and I was like, I really want this new browser. So, like, I think I searched last. I think what was it like July or something? Like, I think I searched for it. I'm like, oh, it's not. I haven't. It's not in my version. What's going on?
Mm.
So yeah, I think maybe it wasn't 50%. Like maybe it was like a percentage of people were like testing it. It was like, yeah, I don't see why. Like, who wouldn't want that? Like, I would love to be able to see what it would look like. So yeah, so there's again during this update because like now we've got the custodian team doing these updates. We've got like they've gone back and like added like or enhanced stuff in other DLCs and like the base game, and I believe they've. So in the aquatic, okay, I think we should start with the aquatic species stuff they've added, I guess. So there's new species portraits. I
Right.
think 16 of them, 18 of them, maybe.
There's
New ship set.
terraforming updates to make it much more complex to terraform planets.
Yeah, that it makes sense. I want to go through like the actual things they've added, which make why they've changed. They started changing terraforming.
Okay.
So one of the civics they added for the aquatic species is you start on an ocean world, and you can't live anywhere but ocean worlds. Basically, it's size 30 ocean world. Previously, the maximum size of planets was 25, so it's a blooming massive planet. And and you also all of your guaranteed habitable worlds will be changed into frozen worlds, which are not inhabitable whatsoever.
Right.
But with this origin, you can actually use frozen worlds ice to like increase this. You know, size 30 is already big enough, right? You can increase it even more if you want with more ice.
Okay.
Make it bigger, and you can like start like I think you can then start terraforming other planets to like make them into ocean worlds and start making them bigger as well. But you need to like have a star base in that system to like melt the ice basically. Which is why they then changed the terraforming to be more interesting. Because I don't know if you do you ever get to terraforming in the game that you played, Joe?
No, but from what I saw in the video they were going over was that terraforming was quite easy or it didn't require that much like thought or
it's basically
energy or resources.
It's a big energy sink in the early game, and it's like something you have to decide in the mid game. But like once you get to late game, like it really does not matter, and you just might as well go for it.
Because they were saying they wanted to give players more choices and more emergent choices where you have one like special pop up when you go through the terraforming process. Something
so there's 12,
might happen.
Yeah, there's now 12 distinct events that can like pop up when you terraform a planet now.
Yeah,
and I believe they're quite common. I think it's like half of the planets you terraform will have these events come.
But you can only get it once, they said in the video.
Of that event itself, yeah.
Because they were saying you can't just keep terraforming a planet to try and get like the event over and over again.
So this is like the first time you terraform a planet. You can't you can't keep like cycling the terraforming. It's kind of similar. There was one planet type in the previous that you could like keep that you could terraform once and you got something, and it would only ever do it like the first time. So it's kind of similar to that. But yeah, so now like they're actually using the event system on a part of the game that was incredibly dull before. And you actually get some like negatives and some positives through it as well. So it's like risk reward. And
they said as well that apparently AI they had like absurd energy requirements before they would even try and terraform a planet. So the AI now will actually terraform planets like reasonably.
Well, even worse than that, they wouldn't even you know the city worlds, the Equinopolises or Equinopoli. They wouldn't even bother like trying to build that. And it's like, oh, okay, that's why they're so behind compared to everyone else.
Then of course we got one of my favorite things is the pompous purist civic, where they won't engage with diplomacy unless they engage with you first.
This is more insane than I thought it was, though, and I'll get to this. So this is an addition to the humanoid species pack.
Yeah.
So they added another civic. Yeah, it's a civic, isn't it? Another civic to this DLC.
You have to be a xenophobe in order to use this.
Yes. You have to be some sort of either fanatical or just normal xenophobe. Yeah, I love the description of it. It's like they wanted to make like the elven
The
people that only
fantasy
speak
of the
on their
high
class.
elves who will only come to your defense if they can be bothered. Yeah.
But Joe, what's insane
The
is
30% growth bonus in
unless
trust.
you have default closed borders,
Right.
you cannot close your borders to them.
What?
Well, to close borders, you communicate with them.
Right, so you can't close
If
your
you have
borders
to
with
wait for
them
them to
if
come
they
to
have
you,
Pompous Purist.
yeah, you
Unless
can't
they
close your
talk to
borders.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sort of.
So,
Wait, so this was meant for the humans. Why are humans xenophobes? I thought humans.
okay, no, the elves are in the humanoid species pack.
Oh, okay, like it's like
There's like dwarves and elves and things that
Oh,
added to that to
okay.
be like high fantasy space stuff,
Oh, okay.
which is why they've added it there. And also there are two human factions. One of them is like the Federation. The other one is like is very like it's basically the Empire basically.
So when I originally watched this video, there was a part about anomaly failure, and then when I watched it again today to double check my notes, it'd been removed. Apparently, there was a miscommunication with the trailer team, and that wasn't supposed to go live with the trailer. They're not got the anomaly failure.
Okay. So that's not in then. Okay.
Yeah, so they've removed that now.
Okay, because I was running those well because like it wasn't in the patch notes. I was like, oh, did they like forget to add that?
Yeah, so they must have maybe they were planning it for the future or something, but it wasn't supposed to go live with the Herbert update.
Again, with the custodian team, that they're kind of like going through like every system that's kind of boring in the game or imbalanced. And I think considering that anomalies and events are like the core of the game in a way,
yeah,
I think it does need to be changed a little bit. Yeah, okay. I think there are some species. Okay, it'd be quite update. There's the Codic DLC. Sorry, there's I think there's some species traits, but I can't remember what any of those are now. But I think if we get onto the bug fixes, they've finally fixed. I don't know if you know this was a problem, but like reinforcing fleets in Stellaris is an absolute pain in the ass. And they finally fixed it.
My one question is from a long-time viewer of the podcast, Vietnam Dave. Is the slave market fixed?
I do not know. I've not confirmed.
Right, we'll have to figure it out then. We'll have to figure it out.
It was not in the patch notes, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, because I know he's always complaining about the slave market.
But this is also like, yeah, they do need to fix that. It is actually quite important. That they have fixed like a ton of AI bugs and like they've actually increased the performance again because like they found scripts that were triggering pointlessly, like constantly, like or like double triggering, and they've removed all of that apparently. So it should be even more. I mean, the last update was already pretty good for performance. Like I think it should be even better now. So ultimately, this is a pretty damn good update.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. It should feel more polished, I guess.
You know what's a lot like Stellaris?
I have some ideas in my head, but I feel like you're not going to say any of those.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawls is getting a brand new costume trailer, the fucking costume DLC. Do you know Nickelodeon All-Star Brawls released? And I was saying it was a bit bare bones because it released. Yeah. And there was no voice acting in the entire game because we talked about the Warner Brothers game that the previous podcast before that, and that came out with voice acting and people saying, "Oh, finally!" Like there's the Smash Brothers, I guess fighter. What do you call like these party Smash Brothers sort of fighters? Because I feel like they're in their own category of fighting game almost.
Yeah, I guess just party fighters, I guess, or
But anyway, not only did it release without voice acting, there was no basic recolor for the palette of the character you were playing. So if you were SpongeBob v SpongeBob, you were completely identical. There was no difference between you. So if you had like
really rushed out.
So if you had like 4 SpongeBobs, you would all be completely identical and you wouldn't be able to tell who's who.
So that's a feature, I think.
there was like leaked and like data mined in the files that they were going to release like this alternate character look DLC, and people were waiting for this sort of thing. But I think it's interesting that the game didn't release with a recolor system.
Yeah,
but
not doing that
again, it's a step in the right direction. But most of the characters, like the difference between like SpongeBob and SpongeBob's skin is like he has a small hat on, and I'm like, sometimes it's like barely noticeable, and then again, this does not address 4-person fights where you're all playing the same character, or 3 people are playing the same character. Like, so yeah, I don't know how hard it would be to just add a palette swap, like make a blue SpongeBob, make a purple SpongeBob, make a red SpongeBob.
Surely like in like the text you would like set like, oh, these colors be changed for different team colors.
Anyway, let's move on. Quake's getting another big update again. Quake's still getting updates after,
what's going on with Quake?
I think it's Horde mode. That's what's going on. There's going to be an online Horde mode that you can play. People love Quake.
I know, but it's like suddenly like there's a load of updates for it. Like, what's going on?
Dusk just got released on Switch, like literally running in the Quake engine sort of thing. So
right,
boomer shooters are so popular right now. It's insane.
But what are they getting out of doing that? Isn't this a free update?
Yeah.
So what? Why? I don't understand. Like,
they're doing cross. You're looking at it. What's the business angle for this?
Yeah.
So I think the idea is they're going to eventually do a Doom 2016 style like a version of Quake, basically. I mean, they are releasing skins in Doom Eternal and Quake Champions as like a crossover event from this. But I think the general idea is there probably is going to be a full Quake remaster re-release thing where they just like Doom 2016 level, but for Quake.
Yeah. Okay.
Because my thing with like the Quake Online was it was cool to have like the PvP fragging, right? But there's tons of there's tons of really cool co-op maps that people have made custom content for. But the problem was when this released or in the original Quake, you could only play it LAN or with bots.
Oh, right.
But I think having the ability to go into online lobbies and do this Horde mode, this like official Horde mode thing, is going to be a cool experience to be able to do like co-op Quake stuff with your friends online, which I quite like the direction it's going.
So the idea then, like a free update will bring loads of players back, get like Quake in the back of their mind, like, oh yeah, Quake's a thing. Then they'll like eventually release this new Quake game. Like, oh, it's a new Quake game, I want to buy that.
And they're also there's a new add-on map they made as well called Honey. I think people who just work at like Machine Games, they just fucking love Quake. I mean, a lot of people do over there. So
yeah, but you got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
Like
there's a business angle for sure. There's a business angle.
I'm just curious for what they're.
But right now, I'm just enjoying the grapes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Someone in the comments, the top comment on this video, Tony, is you can't tell me they're not doing this to hype us up for an upcoming Quake reboot. Like,
right.
It seems like the only thing that's going to happen from this. But we'll move on. Next up, we have Fall Guys Season 6 just came out, and I've actually been playing it. It's pretty fun. I mean, every Fall Guys season is like it never rewrites the, it never rewrites the book, but it's always just, hey, I'm just going to pop on Fall Guys, there's 5 new maps, and I'm just going to play them. Like, it's always just fun to hop back on.
More variety. Every time.
There's this new map called Full Tilt. It's the new Seesaw. I hate it.
Okay.
I think one of my favorites is Pipe Dream. It's just tons of pipes, and you just keep going through them, and you get through different obstacles. There's this one where you have to, I quite like this one, where you have to chase around this light, and it's like the Spotlight minigame in, like, a Mario Party or... those sort of games. This is Pipe Dream. I love the trapeze mechanic as well, where you can swing from the trapeze.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
That's a new mechanic they added.
I was gonna say though, like I feel like I would love to try and get like a survey on like send a survey to everyone who plays Fall Guys and and just go through every map and say, do you like it or not?
Yeah, I think me and Andy did. Like those tier list maker things.
Yeah.
Me and Andy did like a tier list before.
Because like I found
of
in
like,
my small interactions with like people like talking about like different maps on Fall Guys, like it's like someone go, "Oh, this is like the worst map ever," and someone else is like, "Oh, I really like this map." It's like I wonder like if there are actually any like maps that everyone pretty much hates.
yeah, but then you got to remember there is people who still like them. Sort of. I think most people would say. I think the consensus on maps people don't like would be team-based maps because lots of people don't like playing on the team-based maps because
Right.
you're matched with
But I've seen people
random
love them as
enemies.
well, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love Fall Ball. I think Fall Ball is one of my favorite game modes. So, well, because I also love
So I
Rocket
mean, it's
League.
like
So
I almost all of the ones like I see like, oh, I hate this, and like I see like counter. I was like, no, I think they should say. So like I feel like it might be like almost every map has a place.
yeah. They do like playlists sometimes where they have specifically maps from a certain season, or they'll have like streamers or someone will say, I like these maps, and they'll just put all these maps into a playlist you can play. Like at the moment, there's a playlist called The Party something, because it's the anniversary of Fall Guys release or something, which is why they did this new season's theme too. And when a new season drops, basically they'll just have a playlist with just all the new maps. You can just try them all out over and over again.
It's a year old now, though.
Fall Guys came out in 2020, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I in my head like it's been out for so long, but it's not. It's only a year, right?
Let me Fall Guys release date. 4th of August 2020.
Okay, August. Okay.
So it's been out for over a year now.
A quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Like in my head, it's like been out for like years.
Yeah. I think I said Fall Guys is one of my favorite multiplayer games of 2020. So
yeah.
I think it's still one of my favorite multiplayer games. I think I have about over 100 hours in Fall Guys. So I do really love this game.
It's pretty good for a multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic or next trailer, I guess. Sea of Thieves Season 5. I feel like, man, Sea of Thieves always just it keeps getting updates and they keep just like nailing it. They keep just being like, this is. Like last update they did, I don't remember if we talked about it. I assume we did. They added like people were like, "Oh, the Pirates of the Caribbean, tall tale." It was really cool when you went to these underwater temples, and they were like, "Hey, why don't we just put these into the map so players can fight over them and play with them when they want?"
We talked about it. We might not have done, but we talked about it.
You know what's really cool about this update, Tony? You can now bury your treasure. So
what? You couldn't do that before?
No. So usually
what does that do though?
So this is what I'm going to explain. So usually you would dig treasure up, you take it back to a merchant and sell it. So now you can bury your treasure. So if you're getting chased by an enemy pirate squad, you can run off to a random island and bury your treasure, hide it, and then go back and get it, sort of thing.
Right.
Now, another thing you can do with this is you can now say like you want to log off and you're not near an outpost. You're like, oh, I've got a bunch of loot. I just want to log off, right? What you can do is you can bury a treasure, and then you can create a treasure map from burying the treasure, and this treasure will then go into a quest board at all the docks. So after you've logged off, another crew can take your treasure map and dig up your treasure, and when they hand it in, they get a reward and you get a reward as well.
Oh, no, that's really cool.
So there's basically player-created content in the game now where people are making their own treasure maps for other players on this new quest board feature, where it's like, man, that's so smart. How did I not think of that? That's so cool.
That's really cool. Like accidental, well, not accidental, but like cooperation with is it like can like if you put it on the board, like can anyone do it?
Yeah, anyone can pick up this.
So it's like cooperation with just like random people. Then that's really cool.
There's lots of like stuff in Sea of Thieves where it's like, get this rare treasure, but give it to another crew for them to hand in on stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool. Right, okay. Like achievement sort of stuff. There's smaller quality of life stuff. So there's like you can now shoot fireworks through cannons as like the celebration. There's flares, which is quite useful because you can basically use flares to say, hey, we're like if one of you's on an island and one of you's on the boat, you can send off a flare to say, hey, we're under attack or whatever, right? They added the ability to sit, which wasn't in the game before. Also, the megaphone, you could use it to shout at people. So like when a pirate crew is coming, you could go, hey, I'm friendly, or like, hey, how's it going? You can turn it the other way now, and it's a whispering device, so it means only people who are very close can hear your proximity voice chat.
Okay.
That's very good for scheming. There's now a rowboat in the game. So before there was a special rowboat with a grappling hook on it. Now there's a special rowboat there's a rowboat with a cannon on it, which you can shoot cannonballs from.
Oh, look at that! That tiny little cannon.
There's lots of quality of life stuff. So before you would get like these supply crates which you can fill up with anything. So you would go to a dock and you would pick up fruit and you would pick up cannonballs and you would pick up grubs and you would pick up supplies, and then you take them out of your inventory and you put them in the crate and you go back to the barrel, you pick up as much as you could, you put it in the crate. Now you can just take the crate and you can just fill it straight up from the barrel. It's so much quicker, and it's like such a nice like little quality of life update sort of thing.
This become a well-received trailer then. Like it's like hard. Like I swear, like on the very early content updates for Sea of Thieves, like there was like a slight dislike bar. That makes sense. Like there's like
Tony, there is no dislike bar. What do you mean?
You say that.
What
is
that?
It's still this extension, and I kind of feel like a god. I can tell you there's 368 dislikes on this trailer.
How does it know that though?
I don't know.
Right.
But it seems to be consistent. Like it seems to work. Have you heard of a film called Santa Inc?
No.
It came out like after the dislike bar was removed.
Right.
I can tell you it has 330,000 dislikes.
Is it just archiving how many dislikes there was before the feature went through?
No, because this Santa Inc trailer came out after there was no dislike bar. I don't understand where they get.
Well, I don't understand. It's the only person who can see dislikes now is the content creator.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand.
It's magic.
Unless it's like still exposed, just not like normally exposed. I don't know. It might be a bug that eventually YouTube will remove, but I'm going to use it until that point.
Okay. That's so yeah, Sea of Thieves Season 5 looking real cool. You can look like Captain Barbosa.
I can dress up as a oh, hang on, Skeleton Santa.
Hector Barbosa. There he is.
You can't play as skeleton yourself, can you?
Sorry?
You can't play as skeleton yourself.
As a skeleton?
Yeah.
There's pirate curses that change how you look. There's like curses of gold. There's curses of. There is a bug where if your character doesn't load in prop, you look like a skeleton.
Right, I have that one permanently.
I'll look up all the Pirate Lord curses right now because I only became Pirate Lord this year, so I don't know if there's one that makes you look like a skeleton. But there's some that make you look like ghostly and stuff like that. So
okay,
there is some weird stuff you can do.
What happens? Like you
basically when you become like level 50. Basically when you become high level, I think. With all the major factions, level 50, with the merchant, it was the merchant, the gold hoarders, and the Order of Souls. But now I think it's any three factions because they've added like the fishing faction and the PvP faction and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a fishing faction.
Alright, well, me and Scorma Torts need to get in on this, I think.
But yeah, once you reach with that, becoming a pirate lord is really cool. You get like a special quest. And then you have to do this like whole quest line, and then you get the ability to become a pirate lord. And I almost don't want to tell you because I don't think you're ever going to play Sea of Thieves. So, but it's really cool. Basically,
I might one day.
You can go once you become a pirate lord. You can go to any tavern in the Sea of Thieves, and there's a special, like the yo ho pirate's life. You can play like a special Pirate Lord song, and it's when you start playing it, a staircase will like come out of nowhere that will take you down into the Pirate Lord's like secret hideout area, and then you can like purchase special Pirate Lord only stuff and do missions for a new faction called the Athena, which is like hard missions to give you like really good rewards.
And then that's when you can get curses at that point as well.
Yeah, so you have basically to get the Pirate Lord. I think to get the Pirate Lord curses, you have to basically do like hard achievements on like the tall tales and stuff like that, or like hard achievements on the other stuff. But you have to be a pirate lord in order to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Our last trailer before the weird VR trailer is Sons of the Forest got a release date trailer. Because it was delayed originally. This is the sequel to The Forest that me and Dave have been looking forward to for a little while. One thing I found about this trailer they showed off now, it looks a lot more action-y than the original Forest. The original Forest is very much like you're a survival guy and you get dropped off and you're sort of like building stuff and cutting down trees.
Okay.
But I think the idea of the story for Sons of the Forest is you are like an army guy sort of thing.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But it does look really interesting. Like that was one of the great things about the Forest was it was like the Forest was almost a separate character in the game where the creatures would act differently depending on what you did. So if they saw you kill other creatures, or if they like saw you cut down trees or stuff, like how you interacted with the forest would change how they interacted with you. And it had like this scaling difficulty with that was really interesting. Like how they reacted to you was really interesting. I love like the clip they show of like you killing them and then putting their heads on display to make them scared and that sort of stuff.
That's cool, yeah.
And also they don't put the thing I love about the forest is it started off as like quite a serious like survival game, but it was like I think what I love about the forest is it never goes, no, you can't do that. That's not realistic. It goes, well, you should be able to do that. That sounds fun. Like you can build zip lines in the middle of the forest, or you can skateboard down hills on turtle shells. It never went, that's not realistic. We won't do that. It went, no, that sounds fucking fun. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Which I really love about the forest. Yeah, it's fun first sort of thing. But yeah. Looks a lot more like there was no like shotguns. I don't think there was like a flintlock pistol in the forest, but like not like a fucking proper 9mm. Yeah, none of that sort of stuff. So like it's really going like more action orientated from what I can see.
Well, another well-received trailer.
And then we will go on to the Joe's Weird VR Game of the Week. Before we move on to quick news, we do have more VR news because Upload VR's showcase was this week. So
right.
Talk about that. We have The Last Clockwinder coming to Quest 2 and PC VR. I originally clicked on it, I was like, what the hell is this? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. So it's a automation-focused VR game. And basically you like perform an action in VR. So you'll basically like pull some fruit off and then you'll throw it. And then you'll go to another place and then it creates a robot of your action. And then basically,
it's like copies of what you did.
Yeah, so you need to like use actions to create like an automation loop that runs like this, like fruit, like growing fruit factory sort of thing.
Kind of reminds me of a little bit different mechanic, like thematically, I guess, but kind of like a Crack in Time with Clank, that you can like you do an action, then you like rewind time, and there's like a copy of you doing like. They throw it to each other. But
I'm immediately looking at this and like it's like VR like satisfactory like. Fruit thing. I'm like, this looks really interesting. So basically they just announced this with gameplay, like just straight up gameplay of what it's going to be like. And I was like, that's a really cool way to announce your VR stuff. Like just show someone playing in VR, just creating this massive automation factory, and it looks really cool. So that's coming summer 2022. I'll be looking forward to that one.
The guy on the squeeze is like, I'm just gonna add him moving his left arm to like, he doesn't need to, but like he's recorded himself doing that. That's great.
Yeah, I like that they just start playing the piano as well. That's pretty interesting. The only thing I've done in VR that's even anything like this was playing as Mr. Meeseeks and Rick and Morty VR, where Mr. Meeseeks would mirror your actions. You could like throw stuff to him, but
it was like all mirrored all the time.
It wasn't like recording your actions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but we'll talk about more VR later. Let's go into quick news. Tony, did you know farming? You remember we randomly talked about Farming Simulator last week in the podcast? I was like, Farming Simulator 2022 is coming out. I'm just going to pull up the page. And I started reading the reviews and I'm like, why the hell is Farming Simulator 2022 so well reviewed? Farming Simulator 2022 has more players than Battlefield 2042 right now.
Yeah, and it has higher peaks. So
It's one
crazy.
of the best-selling games on Steam right now, and it's also broken the record with 1.5 million units sold in the first week. It's the most successful, most profitable farming simulator game that's ever been. Like, what the hell happened?
Remember, I think we also we read some weird reviews as well. We couldn't figure out if it was a meme or not. Like we saw reviews like, oh, it completely changes. It's the best game. It's completely
improves on
Farming
everything
Simulator.
from Farming Simulator
Yeah,
2021.
what does that mean?
Yeah,
So
I've never played a Farming Simulator game. Yeah. I'm buying into the hype, Tony. Farming Simulator 22, it's going to be the game of 2022, guys. You've heard it here first. You heard it here first. Yeah, guys. Rats in Doom VR. We've got a blog post here. Basically, they set up this like screen so the rat thought it was in VR, and then they gave them like food and pellets with like a motion sensor, and they taught it to like it gets water through the tube and it gets food through the tube when it runs forward. So basically, they taught a rat to run forward to play Doom.
Right. How does it shoot that?
Hang on, let me check. It's quite complicated. Rat running in Doom. I think it was just running. I don't know if they actually got it to shoot.
Okay.
Basically, they taught it to run down a hallway.
Using the old ball bearing technique.
Look, he's trying to run through this imp at the moment. Two sessions were enough for him. Getting stuck into the monster and pulled by the solenoid confused him. So I think he gets pulled back when he's walking into something.
Right.
So then he needs to go to a different like food, water input in order to shoot the gun. So he can like, that's how they were teaching it out, sort of thing.
It's intently watching the monitor.
So can you run Doom in a rat? The answer is yes.
Well,
there we go.
I think the question is, can a rat run a Doom?
There it is.
The answer is yes.
Speaking of boomer shooters and Dusk, Medieval has just received an FSR, DLSS sharpening, and engine upgrade. It's been upgraded to Unreal Engine 4.27, so the Medieval has never been looking so sharp. I haven't played a Medieval yet. I haven't played Dusk. I'm still wanting to get through boomer shooters, like playing some more of them, because I've been really enjoying playing the ones I have been playing before. But I'm currently on the play every game that came out in 2021 so I can finish them up before the end of year podcast awards. Currently playing Little Golf Journey and Rain in Your Parade.
Hang on. Other fixes: removed scary clock.
Remove scary. See, I don't know what that is. So.
What? Well, it doesn't explain anything. It's like everyone's like kind of.
There was a scary clock,
and it's like, no, just remove the scary clock. What?
If you want a good laugh, read like the Sims patch notes. There's people who just read the Sims patch notes because they're like, you'll read through them. It's like removed ability for babies to teleport into walls and stuff like that. Like some of these things just make no sense out of context.
Right.
Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeons is releasing December 13th. I read this and I was like, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, that sounds like a mobile version. No, it's like a completely different version of Shovel Knight, where it's like a puzzle sort of like arcade game that's coming to like Steam, Switch, PS4. I don't know if I might have talked about this before, but I don't actually remember talking about it.
No, I don't remember.
But it's like block falling puzzle games with like a dungeon crawling twist to it.
Like you still have to move around yourself, right?
Yeah, so you sort of, there's these blocks, and then you move around and you're trying to like clear the blocks, and then You bump into enemies to battle them, and then trade damage in a unique combat system, a new hybrid that's never been done before, guys. It's never been done
It's
before.
a whole new system.
I'm really this is one where I'm like, I hope there's a demo for this, because I'm really gonna have to like playlist to
Yeah.
understand what the hell's going on, sort of thing. So looking forward to trying that one out if there's
a demo, really,
coming this winter.
Yeah.
The original Titanfall has been discontinued from sales, so you cannot purchase Titanfall 1 anymore, and will be removed from subscription services from March 2022. If you're asking why the hell is this happening, Titanfall 1's multiplayer has been unplayable for a very long time because of hackers basically have taken over all of the online lobbies, and as soon as you get into a lobby, you just get kicked. So the bots are just filling up all the lobbies, and then they're kicking at any real players that get into them. And Respawn, I don't know. It feels like the community really wants to play these games. They love them, and it feels like I don't know if it's Respawn. I don't know if it's EA, but there seems to be a sentiment that they will not take resources off, stuff like Apex or their bigger titles in order to fix these issues, which is kind of sad to see. But
add dedicated servers, just make it so you can still play local, like LAN or something.
Well, there was private servers for Battlefield Heroes until EA shut them down.
Yeah.
So they're not going to allow people to host community servers for old games.
This is what sucks. Like archiving these types of games so badly.
I think with the Battlefield games not doing very well, Vince Zampella, the guy who's like the head of Respawn, he's been like moved to run Battlefield now. They've like got him working on Battlefield. So I wonder what's going to be going on with Respawn, because they did they made the good Star Wars game, didn't they? Jedi: The Fallen Order. They did Apex, Titanfall, which of course people love. So interesting to see what Respawn's going to be working on now. Obviously not Titanfall 1.
Who made Squadrons?
Star Wars Squadrons?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the people who are doing the racing game for some reason.
Yeah,
Motive Studios. But the thing with like EA Studios is you get like, it'll be like one developer, but then they'll have like a bunch more come and help them on it, sort of thing.
Yeah, there is more. Yeah, it's more like
So they'll be like credited as Motive, but also.
But I think Motive were in charge at the very least. Yeah, what does Motive do?
What does
I'm trying to like what they actually do.
What games did they make? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So they helped out on Battlefront 2, the new one, and then they did Squadrons, and now they're doing Dead Space, the remake.
Is that like a new thing? Okay, right.
Mm-hmm. They're doing the remake, remaster. I get confused with terms on that one. But yeah, the remake of Dead Space is being made by them. But anyway, next up we have Teardown. The complete campaign is here. So Teardown launched in early access, and they released with a campaign where you would unlock new tools, and it was a big cool sandbox game. But they released with like half the campaign, but now the full campaign is here, so you can play like the full Teardown campaign now, which is pretty cool to see. Teardown's a game I wanted to check out for a while. I've got it, so I'm gonna dive deep into it, sort of thing. I thought Teardown came out this year, and I was like, I gotta play Teardown because it came out this year. But I looked up the release date, and apparently it came out on like 29th of November 2020. So it came out like late last year, sort of thing. I was like, oh, I guess I just remember it coming out this year, sort of thing. So interesting. We've got an update on Halo Infinite's multiplayer playlist. People are complaining. I've been complaining in a tangerine that's probably, I don't think it's out yet, but I was saying the way it released is you could play quick play, which just queued you up for every game mode 4v4, ranked, which queued you up for every game mode 4v4, and then big team battle, every game mode 12v12.
Right, okay.
Which I was like, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Players actually found hidden playlists when you went offline, there was actually like hidden playlists of like arena, which is ranked at iteration, dodgeball, elimination, fiesta, CTF, ranked one flag, tactical slayer. Like they found these extra playlists in the code, but they weren't available to play, sort of things. They're already there, so we were like, "What the hell's going on?"
Not like ready for prime time, maybe because it's like early access, maybe.
Yeah, because like the multiplayer's out now, and it's but the actual game itself doesn't come out until like 3 days for the campaign.
Yeah.
But they said they plan to add Fiesta, Tactical Slayer, which is like SWAT, and then free for all playlists are being added right now. They will not land before the release date of the campaign, which is December 8th, which is 3 days from this live stream. So, yeah, interesting. Don't think there's any blunders this week, which is interesting.
Before we move on, I was gonna say, isn't there like, aren't people like concerned with Halo Infinite's like
I guess this is a blunder, but it's also main news. Sorry?
Isn't there aren't people concerned with like Halo Infinite's like where they're gonna make money with like the battle pass and skins and things?
Yeah, people. I think I read today like the Halo Reddit apparently was like quarantined or like shut down because people were not happy with the monetization in Halo Infinite.
Like, people like the gameplay. People don't like this, like the what we were just saying. Like people like joining a match, and like also people didn't like the monetary way they were going about it. And it wasn't worthwhile.
Oh, right, yeah, so playing a game wasn't worth it. They added, like, new daily quests just for playing games now, so it's, like, a lot better if you just hop on and play a couple of games in terms of, like, getting weird, XP.
It's a weird dichotomy, actually. Like, oh, this game's, like, really fun to play, but then, like, everything outside of the game is, like, kind of shit. That's what I've seen anyway. I don't really understand it.
We'll have to see how Halo comes on. Like, I'm much more interested in playing more Halo when they, like, iron out, like, more game modes, more maps, and then
for sure.
I'll check out the, I want to check out the single.
Fuck it up.
I want to check out like the actual campaign when the multiplayer component comes out, the co-op component sort of thing. Steam.
I just really hope they don't fuck up like a great play, like a game that's great to play.
Steam. Steam Next Fest stats. We have basically stats from how much games converted to wishlist, how many games converted to sales. So. The median increase for games participating in Next Fest saw a 13.6x jump in wish lists over the 2 weeks leading up to the event. So when they announced the event, 2 weeks before it, people were wish listing the games on the event like crazy, saying, "Hey, I want to play this," and then they converted these wish lists made during the events to sales when the game releases. When the game eventually released at 5 times the rate, which is like crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I guess
there was also a 26% increase in daily wish additions in the 3 weeks following the Next Fest as well.
So these decisions are really paying out for Valve and I guess the developers on there as well.
Tony, turns out making a demo for your game is pretty good, as long as the game's good.
Yeah, who would have thought it?
The only reason not to make a demo for your game is if your game's bad.
Or if you made a bad demo, like you can make a bad demo for a good game as well. I've seen that. Although I think that is rarer.
Ubisoft Connect PC client was added to Steam's default package.
That's the new name for Uplay, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, all accounts have access to this by default. Are new Ubisoft games coming to Steam? It seems like they may be.
I like what you've written as a note there. They said they would consider coming back for the Steam Deck. My one hope is that we get Immortals Phoenix Rising on Steam, because that's a game I wanted to check out for a while, and it's been like you could either like buy it through Epic or get it through Ubisoft Connect, but you haven't been able to get it through Steam yet. And I'm like, I could just wait until it comes to Steam. Like I've been waiting for that game. What kind of Steam mains?
Next up, we have PlayStation news. Deep Rock Galactic is coming to PS4 and PS5 in January 2022. This was announced as part of their Season 2 roadmap. Hopefully, this pushes them to put Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, cross-platform play with Steam and PlayStation. If you don't know, Tony, Deep Rock Galactic on PC is on Xbox Game Pass for PC. If you or someone you know has it on Xbox Game Pass for PC, there's no cross-play. There's no cross-play between the Steam version and the Xbox Game Pass version.
Oh, right.
Which is sort of insane to me. I think that is something they need to fix.
That would be amazing if you could. Wouldn't that? Oh my god, that'd be great. Yeah, they really need to do that.
The light.
How hard is that to do?
The light. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Sony has patented a version of a DualShock controller for smartphones. Basically, it looks like it almost looks like Joy-Cons added onto the end of a phone. Looks like they are getting into mobile game streaming, like xCloud is with Microsoft getting into mobile game streaming.
It looks so weird, though.
I mean, you can't say this is the weirdest Sony patent when they literally patented a banana controller this year. So,
but to me, it's on that level, though. Like, genuinely, like it's on the same level as a banana controller. Why not just have a normal-sized controller that you put your phone into, like dock with it?
What if you had like a controller attached to a screen, like a portable PlayStation, like
why don't we just have
like a PSP, like a portable PlayStation?
Okay, how about this crazy idea? A controller with a USB-C output. You just plug it into your phone, and it comes with like a mount. You know what's craziest to me? Like the PSP Vita was one of the first ever devices with an OLED screen. I still find that insane. Yeah, you said so. Yeah, it's insane. So we've got one of the early OLEDs though, right? Like it wasn't like the brightest or anything. Yeah. We have a rumor here. Speculation. PlayStation's planned new service to take on Xbox Game Pass. So it's codenamed Project Spartacus, and it will be available on PS4 and PS5. Expected this spring. The Game Awards is going to be real soon, by the way, Tony. Game Awards is on December 8th or 9th. And basically, there's going to be a bunch of game releases at that event. So we'll be talking about that next week. I assume potentially could be announced here. I'm not going to, hold out any hope though. So this will, PlayStation Plus is how you play online on PlayStation, right? Yeah. So this is the subscription service you subscribe to, allows you to play online games, and you get like free games every month. Like Fall Guys was free on PlayStation Plus to keep. Do you get to keep them, or is it like a time thing? I think it's you get to keep it as long as you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus, I think is how it works. But I never used it. So. Right. So if you stop subscribing, I'm not 100% sure because I never used it, but I assume that's how. Yeah. But then there's PlayStation Now, which is the game streaming service, which I've used PlayStation Now for PC, where you get to stream from a PlayStation to your computer, or you can stream from a PlayStation. PS4 and PS4. I think it's just PS4 games, and then there's the older PS3 titles. But they're going to make this Project Spartacus service. It's going to come in 3 tiers. So tier 1 will be PlayStation Plus, and then tier 2 and tier 3 are basically PlayStation Now, where you'll be able to access PS4 and PS5 games, select ones. Right. And then tier 3 will be access to a classic library of like PS1, PS2, PS3 games. I just feel like people who want to play classic games always have to pay more money than anyone else. Imagine being a classic Nintendo fan and thinking emulation is piracy. Yeah. You must have bought so many copies of Super Mario Brothers. Imagine having to you have to rebuy every fucking console. So it seems like Sony is also investing more heavily into cloud gaming, so it seems like my speculation on the DualShock controller may be coming true based on this rumor. Yeah. VR news. Why is this why is this speculation? Like what? It's not announced. It's just like this is just rumor. This is just inside sourcer people talking on Twitter. Right. Okay. Well, there was a Jason Schreier, Bloomberg reporter, said that the PlayStation Plus brand will likely be phased out. Okay. No, sorry, they will likely keep the PlayStation Plus brand, but phase out PlayStation Now. So Jason Schreier, I've talked about him in the past. He's a Bloomberg guy. He's got like quite credible sources in the video game. He has sources like a lot of people inside the gaming industry like talk to him, right? But until this stuff's announced, it's all speculation, rumors. Yeah. VR.
Apparently, there's a Cyberpunk 2077 VR mod coming. Should come in January, says curator.
Okay.
Luke Ross, who previously made the GTA 5 Real project and Red Dead Redemption 2 VR mods. These VR mods, I'm not a big fan of. The head-based tracking in the GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 ones. These ones were like quite janky, so I'd be interested to see how the Cyberpunk one works, but I'm not going to hold out any hope.
How would it run though? Like, you have to turn on the settings to get these things to run.
I mean, Cyberpunk's quite an intensive game, like memes about bugs aside. So
yeah, like even when it's not, but isn't like Red Dead's quite intensive, right?
But says Cyberpunk's Red Engine 4 is no more or less VR friendly than other engines, which is to say not particularly VR friendly at all. There are a few things going for Cyberpunk 2077 that should smooth out the process. One major bonus about Cyberpunk is it's already played in first person, which is good for VR immersion.
Yeah.
Unlike, for example, the Mafia trilogy, which was also ported to VR through a mod, and I think the only time you're in first person in Mafia is when you're in a car, and then the entire rest of the time you're in a third person. So it's like a third person camera view in VR.
First person car, really? Okay. Interesting.
Well, I think you're in first person in the cutscene in the car, and then maybe it cuts to like an outside view.
Okay.
But yeah, let's see about that. So we're going to talk about. Actually, no, I've missed something out that's very important. I teased this last week as well, so we have to talk about this. Hitman 3 Year 2 has been announced, and this is something I've been looking forward to for a while. So with the new Hitman been out for about a year now, right? Hitman 3. So with this new season, so January next year, Hitman 3 will be out over a year. So this should coincide with the Epic exclusivity coming up, which makes a lot of sense because they show PC ray tracing, which is really cool to see inside Hitman 3. And then they show hand-tracked PC VR. They've got this running on an index, which says to me they have to be releasing this on Steam because how else are you going to get the index to run Hitman 3?
It's going to be a GOG exclusive, Joe.
Because that's something I always think about, and I'm always like, there's never a VR exclusive on Epic because there is no Steam VR on Epic. There's no competition for Steam VR when it comes to PC VR stuff.
It's true.
But they show hand-tracked, like with the PSVR version of Hitman 3 VR, you would use the controller to move around, and you could use the controller to like hit people and garrote people and stuff. But you're actually going to have hand-tracked PC VR coming in January 2022. So I'm so excited for this. This is going to be my most anticipated VR game of 2022.
Do you think the weird like controller version is like letting their foot in the door and like trying to figure out how to do it?
Sorry.
Do you like they were doing that with the weird only using the gamepads like do Hitman VR? Do you think that's just so they can get used to like there's like their foot in the door sort of thing?
I think it's more to do with the adoption rate of the PlayStation Move controllers. Not a lot of people own PlayStation Move controllers. So if you're developing exclusively for PlayStation, they'd probably say, "Hey, can you make it run with the DualShock controller?"
Right, they had no way to do it on
because you can see how different the VR version is on PC. It has full hand tracking. It has
like like Memento, like proper like
I assume it's a contract obligation.
That would make sense.
But very excited for that because literally Hitman 3 VR was announced. And I was like, awesome! It was PlayStation VR exclusive. And I'm like, why the fuck would I want to smear my eyes with Vaseline and play with a controller through this? But
it looked terrible.
Next up, so Upload VR showcased. I've picked out some interesting trailers to talk about. So let's go through these.
For me, the most weird and interesting one.
Tony, you're a big fan of City Skylines.
Yeah.
What if I told you that City Skylines is getting a official VR port exclusively to the Meta Quest 2?
I want to know how the fuck that's gonna work.
This was like this was the biggest head scratcher for me. I saw that, like, I literally saw this trailer and I was like, oh, it's like a city building game in VR.
You're like a giant, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, this sort of perspective is always cool. Like, there's a Google Earth VR game that I've played where actually being like from that big perspective and seeing like how small buildings work can be a cool perspective to be in VR. Because that's one good thing about VR is the sense of scale and perspective is really cool and immersive. But yeah, would you be interested to play this?
Is it a demo? I feel like
A demo for your VR system that doesn't exist.
Well, if I had a VR system, I'm still not sure I'd even get this. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So this is...
I don't know. Like, the experience seems weird to me, but it's interesting, I guess.
Interesting. I'm trying to find more about the company. So it's being made by Fast Travel Games, who apparently are an exclusive VR developer.
Right.
Then it's like they're like budget cuts. I'm looking at their games, like what games they've like developed, and it says budget cuts too. And I'm like, no, you didn't make budget cuts too. That was a Neat Corporation. So I'm like, why the hell is this why is this on here? Apex Construct, do they do that? Because I know that game. You remember when Apex Construct came out and people kept buying it, thinking it was Apex Legends?
Yeah.
Oh, so they did Apex Construct. They made the game that everyone thought was Apex Legends, but it was actually a legit, like, interesting archery game in VR. Okay. Interesting. So they are like a legit VR developer. So
why would
interesting to see.
I wonder how did that come about though? Did they approach
Paradox, or did Paradox approach them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I assume Paradox. I feel like Paradox is always in a state of... I feel like Paradox is always in a state of, like... They're always in a weird business state where I feel like they have a million games going on and I feel like they're bleeding money in, like, several direct... And there was like, fuck, throw this at the wall, do this, do this, do this. I don't know.
I have no idea how profitable Paradox is. But maybe that's why they have expensive DLC. I don't know. Maybe if they're making more money, they would release more free.
Well, they know their niche with like their strategy stuff and city builders and stuff like that.
They're kind of stuck. I mean, to be fair, like I'll be honest with you though. Like Crusader Kings 3, like I'm looking at it and go, oh, I really want to play. Like looks like they've improved the UI on that. But Crusader Kings 2 is cool, but I can't play it.
But just seeing the stuff with like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline stuff,
yeah, that's
and, like,
what concerns me.
Firing their own developers,
Twice.
Making the game. Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell is going on at Paradox?
Yeah. They've also, like, I don't know if you know, but there's like a really awful Solaris mobile game that's like really bad.
No,
so like their side projects are really quite bad. But again, what they're good at, like, I'm really interested in. Like Victoria 3 looks great.
I would be interested.
3 looks great.
I'd be interested in trying this, but again, it's Big Daddy Oculus comes with their checkbook and says, "Hey, you're interested in making a VR game?" Do you think Meta started this? You think Meta went up to Paradox?
They like approached for exclusivity.
Well, they went up to Rockstar and they were like, "Hey, make GTA VR," and then we were like, "Best we can do is San Andreas VR," and they're like, "Yeah, we'll take it." Okay, we'll take it.
That is possible, yeah.
Because we have another trailer here of Lost Recipes, which is Shell Games, the people who do I Expect You to Die. What's it called? Before You Fall or something? Yeah, Before You Fall is another. Until You Fall? Until You Fall. Yeah, that's Shell Games as well. That's like their roguelite. Like fighting game one. But I was like, this looks really interesting because I love Shell Games. They're one of like the premier VR developers.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just came out with I Expect You to Die 2, which I've got and I haven't played yet.
Isn't food games basically just like chemistry games, but you're trying to make it look tasty?
I guess so, yeah. That's an interesting way to look at it. But I think this looks really cool, the idea that you can... I think you're in the afterlife, and
like
you get to learn about like different eras of cooking, and like the authentic way that they would cook it in that era, I think is a really cool idea in VR.
That is very cool.
But caveat, like Shell Games so far, they've been pretty good about, hey, we know where our bread is buttered. We are going, like, the Quest release of I Expect You to Die 1 and 2 did very well. We're going to keep making the Quest version, but we also make the PC VR version. Seems like Oculus has got to Shell Games. This is an Oculus exclusive, Lost Recipes. So that's really a shame to see.
Valve's idea of just like having it free to everyone is like undermined massively by Meta.
The problem is Valve and Oculus, Meta, Facebook, whatever the fuck they want to be called these days. They have such different philosophies. It's similar to like Xbox versus PlayStation, where
I feel like Valve's philosophy is far better though. I feel like they're losing.
Facebook is willing to get all these exclusives and sell their headsets at massive costs to get the big player base and get the developers on their side, whereas Valve will not sell at cost, and they will not, force people to make VR games. Valve's kind of bored with VR games, it seems like, from their current attitude towards VR. Like, past Alex, they're like, let's make the Steam Deck, let's focus on hardware, like, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I feel like maybe like after Steam that they might go back to like VR though. I don't know, but
I'm just looking at this Lost Recipe. Every time it's like this is the VR version of every time a game gets announced and it's like, oh, this looks cool, and then it goes Epic exclusive, and you go, oh, okay, I'll have to wait for that one.
If Valve supported developers, like this wouldn't be as big of a problem. But they don't create the store. They don't have programs that help developers, like, so it's kind of inevitable, really.
They don't have any VR presence.
Yeah, but when you have like Epic and Meta with money that they're willing to throw around,
Valve's
get people on their platforms.
Valve's big push for VR was releasing Alex. They thought releasing Alex would cause everyone to get a VR headset, no matter the cost. But it didn't.
But it doesn't force them to get it through Steam, though. Well, I mean, it gets Alex through Steam, I guess, but not every VR game through Steam. That's what they need. They're missing.
But what happened was
they need to have programs like, oh, we will pay you money to like develop a VR game for Steam and any other platform, but it has to be released on Steam.
When they're doing grants, I feel like I talked about that before, where they were doing grants like that.
I swear they were, but we never heard anything about it.
Yeah, I think they just forgot about it. That's probably what happened.
But I appreciate though that this seemed like sounds like a massive project, like trying to get like both software and hardware, and like integrating everything, like trying to get.
So what did happen to Valve's VR game funding program? Prepaid Steam revenue. Anyone have any updates on this story? My guess is it might be applied to bundle games like Tiltbrush, Jobstream, and Fantastic Contraption. Yeah, I feel like I talked about this before.
I think we said it was a good idea, but then it never happened. Well, was poorly implemented.
They did this push for like VR funding ages ago, and I feel like nothing came of it. Like they just completely forgot about it.
I personally think they should have pushed that more. Like I genuinely think that would have helped this problem a lot.
But yeah.
Isn't there workarounds to like trying like not like to play these games not on the Oculus?
I don't know.
It was like a bit hacky.
Yeah, it's gonna be hacky any thing you do.
I've seen workarounds for certain games. That's all.
Next up, we have Garden of the Sea. So this is the budget cuts devs, and it's like a late Gardeners of the Sea Galaxy. It's a laid-back farming sim, and it's been in early access for a long time on Steam. It's a PC VR and It's been a PC VR early access game. Actually, it's pretty cool. I feel like this one went past me. But hearing that it's going to be like fully released as like a fully content VR game, I'm like more interested to check it out now that it's got all the content because it looks like quite artsy and relaxing, and so it's going to be moving out of early access and onto Quest in 2022. So there'll be a Quest version as well that you can play, which is pretty cool.
That guy's got like a trench coat, one eye poking out. Hang on.
That's cool. So yeah, this looks pretty fun. There's fishing in it. You can fish in VR. You'll love to see it.
Well, this is the this doesn't have co-op, does it? Imagine if this had co-op. Oh my god. Because
this has been in early access since 2019, I think. So.
Oh, is that Bamboo?
Bamboo. Next up, we have Vertigo 2. So if you don't know, Vertigo 1 was an early VR game. I think it came out in like 2016, 2017. Vertigo VR Steam. Let's find the release date. Because they did Vertigo Remastered as well.
Right.
But it was like one of the early VR games. I heard really good things about it. It's like a shooter sort of game, like fully physics-driven weapon handling, lots of like weird enemies that come about. It was really
what's going on?
It's like the thing
Russians?
Yeah, it's like Russians versus like robot aliens.
What?
I have no idea what happens in the first game, Tony, because I bought Vertigo Remastered to try it because I heard it was really good and it looks really interesting. And I was like, I gotta check out Vertigo 1 now after seeing the Vertigo 2 trailer, because this one looks legit really interesting. So the idea of Vertigo 2 is, Tony, this isn't the full game. This is one map in the game. This whole trailer is one map.
Okay.
So for this map in the game, you're going to pick a side in a robot war, and so you get to choose between the Soviet robots or like the weird alien robots, and then choose which side you fight, and then that'll be that level, and then you'll go on to another level. No release date for this from what I could tell, but this, Vertigo 2 looks really interesting to me. So
there's a comment here that I've never heard this before, but instant wish list.
Yeah, there it is. Propagation Paradise Hotel reveal trailer. So Propagation VR was a free-to-play static wave-based zombie shooter that was just released by Wanna Dev Studio. If you don't know Wanna Dev Studio, they made Ragnarok, which is a game I played, came out late 2020, which is basically Beat Saber drums. Well, that's not fair. I'll look it up right now to show you. Basically, you're on like a longboat, and you need to, like on Vikings and longboats, they would drum along to like get a rhythm going. It's that. But you're like, so the boat's like rowing along, and as it rows along, you need to hit these notes to the rhythm. It's a rhythm-based VR game. I was thinking the other day, I could name off the top of my head like 10 different VR rhythm games. I think we're hitting the saturation on rhythm VR games.
I mean, for some people it works, so I don't want to.
But yeah, it was a free-to-play, static, wave-based zombie shooter. It was quite well received, overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
Really? Okay.
I guess they released that as like a tech demo, like, hey, we built this cool VR thing, try it out, and like, oh, cool, it's a static wave-based thing. And it seems like they're now going to be like fully releasing like a paid game sort of thing, where they're going to be like, hey, let's take that technology and build on it and do something more interesting with it. So it's going to be another like zombie shooter. But it looks like it might be more open. I don't know if it's not going to be static this time. I don't know if it's going to be like wave-based again. But another, well-received zombie shooter on VR, that's always going to be interesting to check out. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on that one.
2022.
Yep. A lot of these are just like they're coming next year.
Yeah. I'm just saying like that's sort of like time like making feel like proper time development has been put into it.
I saw something on Twitter today. It was like, I think it was Jason Schreier, who was pointing out that apparently the Game Awards has a section called the most anticipated game for next year, and they had a list of all these games, and then the list of those games was almost exactly the same this year for the nominees, because the games have been delayed.
Oh
What's the
no.
fucking
Okay.
point of an anticipated game list when every game gets delayed? Like, I think the whole idea of an
Well,
award for the most anticipated game is dumb.
yeah, you're meant to be celebrating what's been made, not what's coming up.
So next up we have Paranormal Hunter, Phasmo, new
Phasmo,
Phasmo, new
Phasmo
Phasmo,
2,
Phasmo 3.
Oh yeah, sorry, Phasmo 3.
There's another horror ghost hunting game with crossplay between VR and non-VR coming to
What does
consoles and
Steam
PC.
VR compatible mean?
It's going. Basically, you can play it on VR and non-VR, is what they're saying.
Oh, okay, right.
Because it's coming to consoles and PC. So basically,
Is this just
it looks
biblical Phasmo?
it looks like another Phasmo game. Basically, I mean, it's a popular genre. Like VR horror is like. VR makes you more immersed and experience things more, and doing that for horror is definitely like a interesting thing. So, have to
I
see.
think Ghosts especially, like if you do Ghosts properly, I mean Ghosts in like for me anyway, like Ghosts in like a normal game are fucking terrifying if you do it properly. If you do that in VR, like oh shit, I'm running away from this monster.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming through the walls.
So we got an announcement of Moss Book 2 is coming to PSVR in spring 2022. So this is like one of those, I don't know why this is a genre, but there's like a genre of games where it's a platformer, but you're the camera in VR, that sort of perspective.
What?
I don't know, because there's Mossbook 2 and then there's Lucky's Tale, which we'll talk about in a second. But the original Mossbook 1, it started out as a PSVR exclusive, I think, back in 2016, 2017, and then it came to like Steam and PC VR in like 2017, 2018. But it seems like they're doing a sequel to the game because it was quite popular. I think Moss was like a well-received game on PSVR and Steam VR, and they're going to do another sequel, and it seems like it's going to be another PSVR game. Another game you have to play with a controller, Tony, not with motion controllers. So
why is this a VR game?
Yeah, so I guess to answer that, because I look at this game and I'm like, oh, I love like 3D platformers.
I would love to play this as a
not
normal
in
game.
Okay, let's talk about the next one. So the next one, so that's the Moss page for the non-VR version. I haven't played it, so I can't talk about it. But
okay,
here's a game I've actually played. So do you remember Lucky Tale? Probably not.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yeah, yes.
Lucky's Tale was one of the tech demo games basically that released with the original Oculus 2014.
Oh, is that where?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, because the head of Oculus was Lucky Palmer. I guess it's named after him.
Yeah, that is kind of bring back memories. Yeah.
But basically, I think the only way to play it for the longest time was I played it on the Oculus Dev Kit 2. That's how like old this game is. When I played it, I remember playing it on the Oculus Dev Kit 2 and feeling really
properly,
and playing like really motion sick playing this because my head was the camera, and I was like, this is really disorientating for me because I feel like I have this problem with other stuff. Like, there's a mode in Rocket League called Ball Cam where you drive around the car, but you look from the perspective of the ball, so you know where the ball is. And I find that really disorientating. I like exclusively play Rocket League with ball cam turned off.
I think that's fair.
So I don't.
No, I think it's a genuine. That's a problem that a lot of people have. I think.
But yeah, I don't. So I don't know. I don't get the appeal of playing a platformer, with you in VR with your head as the camera, like playing as something else. You're moving around something else in a space while you look at it.
This is another game that just looks good as a normal game, not a VR game.
Well, it is a normal game, Tony, because what they did was, so it came out as an Oculus exclusive in 2016. Then they took the VR. It was an Oculus. It's still to this day an Oculus exclusive, the VR version. They then took the VR out and released it on Steam and Xbox in like 2018 as Super Lucky's Tale. Because I think we talked about this on the podcast before. It came out at the end of 2018, so you can play the non-VR version if you're interested in just playing this game. And then now they're re-releasing Lucky's Tale, the VR version, for PC VR and PlayStation VR. So yeah,
what?
so you can now play the VR version, in PlayStation VR and PC VR now. So that was the big announcement for this.
I searched Super Lucky's Tale in Steam.
Yeah.
I get 2 hits.
They may have made DLC.
Tale and new Super Lucky's Tale.
I don't know the difference, to be honest with
you. What the hell is going on?
Let me have a look.
Am I missing something here? It's the same price.
New Super Lucky's Tale was the Switch release.
Oh, okay.
I think, or no, I think it's a sequel.
It looks identical.
No, the graphics are definitely different.
Is it actually different? Okay.
Just from looking at the trailer, the graphics are much better on New Super Lucky's Tale.
Okay. But wouldn't you... I just feel like, wouldn't you mention that it's a sequel?
Wait, one of the reviews says on New Super Lucky's Tale, a remake of the original game that vastly improves everything about it. Surprised it was coming out on PC as they initially didn't announce a release. If you love platforms, you'll love this game.
Well, there's a demo for it.
So how many times have they remastered Super Lucky's Tale?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so this isn't a sequel. This is just the game again. I don't fucking know anymore. Okay.
There's a demo. I'm going to download it. I'll play it at some point, I guess. All right.
Let's move on to business news. Kojima... Oh, sorry, no, we're not on business. VR.
Oh.
One more, Tony.
VR.
I just put Smash Drums on here because I was saying, how many more fucking rhythm-based VR games do we need? What? And it did that thing where it's like, out now. Tony?
I'm just trying to figure out what's different. Like you're playing
the drums. It's rock music.
Yeah, but it seems to be exactly the same, but different movements. Beats over.
It's another rhythm-based VR game.
No, that's no from me.
Moving on.
I'd rather play Beat Saber.
Kojima Productions has launched a new film, TV, and music division, so Kojima can be confusing in those media spaces as well. Epic Games has acquired Harmonix. So Harmonix is mainly known for their rock band games and recently the DJ game Fuser. And basically, this is basically going to be part of Epic's metaverse or Fortnite music concerts thing they're doing, where they're bringing together music collaborators and Fortnite gamers. Next.
Fortnite.
Delays, cancellation of announcements. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe has been delayed to early 2022. It actually has a fingers crossed stable release date of early 2022 and has a store page where they showed off like, it seems like they're adding like a bunch more content to this. Like it seems like,
oh really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot more, like lots more endings and interaction. So I'll be really interested to try this because I love the Stanley Parable.
Finding the endings of Stanley Parable is
very interesting.
Because if you can add endings, you have to add like more journeys, like more. That's really good. That's good. That seems like great news.
Main news / blunders. Take-Two has gone on a rampage of trademark disputes. They claim they own the word Rockstar, Take-Two, Bully, and all variants. They're trying to claim that Hazelight Games, It Takes Two, is profiting off their brand. Joseph Fares is being sued for having the name It Takes Two.
Apparently in March of this year, what are they called? Hazelight? Hazelight.
Yeah.
They dropped you apparently, I didn't realize there's even a thing, like you can like say that you won't use the trademark basically, but you want to use it in your product.
Right.
So apparently that was dropped in March. But like, I think Take-Two still have a problem with it.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is apparently this is like the tip of a massive iceberg that Take-Two have been doing.
Yeah, they've been trying to sue everyone. basically.
Because like they've been going after only small businesses, and because I think there's like a Rockstar energy drink that Coca-Cola own, but they're not going after them.
Well, because they would get fucked.
Yeah, it's like it's so shitty. Like it's so awful. Like
Well, I
I
think
don't know.
it's also with copyright stuff, you have to prove that your brand of products is in the same field. Whereas Take-Two make video games, and It Takes Two is a video game, so that's like devil advocate.
No, but they've been going after they're going after tattoo parlors.
Really, that's insane.
Yeah, it's not. They're not doing it based upon if you're in the same region. They're just going absolutely ham. Their strategy, by the looks of it, is we've got more money than you. You can't do anything about it.
So it says
it's absolutely awful.
They said here the US Patent Office records shows numerous name contests such as Rockstar, Social Club, Mafia, Civilization, and more.
Yeah. Well, why do they own Mafia?
This includes a Beijing company's trademark of the brand Star Rocks, the name of a clothing brand, Max Payne. That does sound a little bit similar to Max Payne. Numerous restaurants, tattoo parlors, and other small businesses who have used the word Rockstar in their name. Think Like a Rockstar, a brand behind music books for live performance, abandoned its trademark after Take-Two's legal claim.
It is absolutely shocking.
Tony, listen to this one. Rockstar Axe Throwing, a Florida-based axe throwing company, is meanwhile trying to oppose Take-Two's trademark grab, though is one of the many now caught in a messy series of extensions and challenges. This is insane.
Yeah. So the strategy, it looks like, is they just like keep extending it, making it like more and more expensive to like try and settle.
That's how the legal system works. Just depress someone with legal fees.
Yeah,
until they give up.
Too. They are worse than Nintendo by a long shot.
I mean, there's like a race to the bottom to be the worst developer, and Take-Two is currently at the top.
Yeah, massive race.
The worst like dev publisher gaming entity, Take-Two, is currently the front runner for the race to the bottom.
I think Activision Blizzard's best publisher.
I mean, Activision Blizzard's pretty fucking close when it comes to Take-Two.
Yeah, I would put Activision Blizzard first, but only because someone committed suicide and like actual physical abuse over legal. But Take-Two takes a good second.
Right.
This is like screwing other people's livelihoods. So
Tony, Steam Awards. Let's do this. Final topic.
Something more upbeat and less shit than. Oh god.
So the Steam Awards. Let's complain about the Steam Awards every year. They remove the Steam Award page so you can't see your nominations. But I took
a different complaint this time.
Hang on. Let me get my complaints out first, and then you can complain.
Okay.
So this year, I was like, I'm going to use ShareX. I found out about a feature called a scrolling capture, and I took a scrolling capture picture of my nominations, so I have them saved. And then my second complaint is I wanted to nominate a DLC that came out this year. You can only nominate games that came out before, like, the cutoff is like November, October, like 2020. And then they have to be on Steam.
Like just after Steam Awards last year.
There has to be Steam releases, but you can nominate demos and games. So you can nominate demos, but you're not allowed to nominate DLCs, even if those DLCs are like massive, almost like entire games on their own.
Considering we have basically sort of, I guess, but we basically have an award for best update, right?
Yeah.
At least that's the way I see it. Why isn't there a best DLC as well? Like, it's not. They're not the same. Like, one's like getting updated for free. One is you have to pay for it. Like, it kind of should be two separate entities.
Okay, let's go through the first award. So you didn't fill out yours fully, or you lost yours.
My complaint was I started doing it. I got busy. And it's like I couldn't do it on the weekends, and I think I had like until midday Monday or something.
It was until the sale ended, so it was like a week or something.
Yeah,
a week or so.
But I didn't do it like into the weekend of that week, and then it's like got gone by the Monday or after that week. And it's like, why can't I just stay up for 2 weeks? Like, what's gonna be different than if we just did it last week? So I'm reading the small print.
So every game is eligible up to December 1st, 2020. And for the Labor of Love category, you can vote for any previously game that is on Steam, except for previous year's winners, which were Warframe, GTA 5, and CSGO. So that's why people haven't been voting GTA 5's Labor of Love. They literally can't anymore.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
That's how I was complaining. GTA. Well, we don't know the results yet, right?
Mm-hmm. But there was a DLC I played this year for a game called The Outer Wilds, and it was really fucking good, and I would have liked to have nominated it for several awards, but I could not. So make sure you check out the podcast awards, because we're going to be talking about the best games that came out in 2021 and the best games I played this year, because I got a lot to say about those. So it's good to like get interesting category ideas and a good way to think about games, but I think ultimately the definitive podcast game awards will be at the end of the year when I've sat down and played everything, sort of thing.
What order are we going through this?
We're going from the bottom to the top.
Yeah,
so the most interesting one will be saved for last.
Yes.
So the first award is the Sit Back and Relax Award. So this game is your antidote to a busy day. It's smooth, it's relaxing, it lets your worries melt away. This game is your moment of zen. Do you want to guess? Do you want to have a go at guessing my nominations, and then I'll... If you don't have a guess,
it's a golf game, isn't it? Fuck.
Okay. He's seen through me.
It's a golf game.
Do you want me to tell you?
Okay, if it's not a golf game, I feel like something's wrong with the universe.
Sit back and relax. My nomination: A Little Golf Journey. We did
a little golf journey. I wasn't thinking of that. Okay.
We did a spotlight on this game earlier this year. I think it was Unrailed and A Little Golf Journey, and I talked about how much I loved the demo. I played the entire demo. I think I sent I took a screenshot and I sent it to the dev, and I'm like, I think I 100%ed your demo, and he was like, yeah, I think you got everything in the demo. And I was like, yeah, this game is great. I can't think of a game.
This one is great.
I've been playing it because the full game came out recently. I've been playing it. I think I've got about 8 hours or something in it, and it's still like a chill, relaxing little golf game. I really like this game. So yeah, A Little Golf Journey. My runner-up was Rain on Your Parade, which I've also been playing recently, which is like a really relaxing little game where you play a little cloud and you rain on little yarn people to ruin their day.
Yeah. We've done
that was my runner-up.
Yeah.
Did you have a nomination for this, Tony?
No, this is one I could not think of one at all. Like, there's no like game. No
spotlight or anything we played this year that you thought, okay.
Nothing I would have. No.
The next award is the Outstanding Story-Rich Game Award. Some days only a narrative-heavy game will hit the spot, and this one's packs a wallop. It's gripping as any soap opera and a well-tuned as prestige TV screenplay. Bravus Vismo for making us feel things. So this is one where I think a nomination like The Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye would be a pretty good nomination. But I mean, the thing here is either you go for like a story one or you go for a meme one. But what do you think I nominated here?
Oh, I didn't. I don't have anything to like put for this. I couldn't think of one with the story in it this year either.
I didn't play like a crazy amount of narrative games that came out this year, so but I did find one that I haven't played fully yet. I've played the demo and I own it now, but I haven't fully played through it. But from what I've seen from the story so far, it's really, really gripping me. And my nomination for Outstanding Story-Rich Game is Inscription.
Oh, Inscription. Okay, I think what I did, I think I temporarily put in Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
If there was if there's an award for atmosphere, this game wins immediately. The atmosphere and like the mystery and this everything surrounding this game is just really interesting. So, and I know, and I immediately know Daniel Mullen's game, something really interesting is going to happen. So
something fucked up's happening as well.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Let's move on to the next award. Next award is Best Soundtrack Award. And again, with the Steam Awards. You can only nominate one thing for one category, because I think some of my other awards would have been in this category, because there is some really, really cool soundtracks for games that released this year. But given the limitations
I could not
had,
think of anything.
So best soundtrack award, The Unsung Hero deserves to be recognized for its outstanding musical score. It's the OST with the most. Do you want to guess my nomination, or do you not have any idea?
I can't think of any game with a soundtrack. I'm gonna be honest.
I went for Boomerang X. The Boomerang X soundtrack, I think, is literally just like one song, but you do not understand how intense that song gets when you're playing on New Game Plus, and all I can hear is just like, and it's just like crazy. It's like, I think it's a really cool, soundtrack. So
I don't remember it at all. Hang on, Boomerang X.
You think if I play it, I'll get copy strike? Probably not. There's like 4 dudes who work on the studio.
Okay, well,
there is different songs for like different stages. But I think it's a really cool soundtrack. It hits like that perfect note of like Asian style music, but also like mythology and mystery and that sort of stuff. I really like the Boomerang X soundtrack. I think it's really cool. But there is other games I played this year that I would put over it, but I couldn't because they were nominated for other categories. Best Game You Suck At Award. This is the game that rewards persistence and is not for the faint of heart. It's the toughest game we ever loved. This award was really hard for me because I suck at a lot of games. Again, like, I think previous years it's been like harder to nominate things because I didn't play that many games that came out that year. This year, I think I've actually had to like choose several games. Like, I've had several games I've wanted to nominate for the category where I'd actually had to whittle down to just one for each category, sort of thing, where I could have put others in it, which is pretty interesting. Do you have any idea for this one, or should I?
No, I feel like it's just like it could be almost any game.
Muck.
Oh.
Do you remember previously I nominated Risk of Rain 2 and I said I love this game, but I'm terrible at it?
Yeah.
Muck is Risk of Rain 2 mixed with like Minecraft or RuneScape.
Okay, right.
It's like a survival crafting game mixed with like roguelike Risk of Rain mechanics. It's super fun and it's super easy to die on. It's pretty hard, but it is insanely fun, and it's created by the YouTuber Danny. I think I talk about this in one of our Tangerines coming up, but basically, I found Muck on Steam. I had no idea who the YouTuber Danny was. I played the game, I said, this is really fun, and then I found out who Danny was. I'm like, oh, he has like this insane 3 million YouTube backing for like his game development stuff. This is really cool. So yeah. I had so much fun this year playing Muck through with friends, and it's insane that it's free to play as well. That just seems crazy to me. Next up,
all these games are almost free to play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Next up, we have Most Innovative Gameplay Award. The designer of this games are at the front lines of creative experimentation, bringing a fresh perspective and brain-breaking surprises. This game delighted, inspired, and entertained with newness never seen before. As soon as I saw this award, I knew exactly the game to nominate for it. There was no choice for me. So, do you have any idea?
I don't know. I would have thought, but I know it can't be this.
Right.
I would have thought like something like Inscription would be here, because I think that's what I was thinking about for this one. Because like, that seems like,
yeah, that is a good runner-up. But the one I went for was Before Your Eyes. This, I talked about this in a Tangerine with you that's unreleased. This is a story-based emotional game where you control time by blinking. You have a webcam hooked up to your computer, and every time you blink, the time jumps forward. That's, as soon as I played that, I was like, this game was designed for this category. That's exactly what I thought after playing it. It's a short little game. We'll have a Tangerine out of it at some point. I don't know if it's out yet, but really interesting game. Highly recommend it. It's just short little narrative experience. Really fun.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Outstanding Visual Style Award. Visual style doesn't aspire to real-world graphic fidelity, though a noble goal in itself. It describes a distinctive look and a feel that suffices an entire game. Do you have any idea on this one?
I don't know what that word is.
Suffices.
Yeah.
You want to guess?
I'm just trying to think. Oh, that game came out this year, didn't it?
Which game?
It's not a Lego one, is it?
My nomination for Outstanding Visual Style Award was Lego Builder's Journey.
Oh,
This
okay,
game
right.
is fucking gorgeous.
That's
The
what I mean,
whole
it's
like
RTX
ray trace,
Lego.
the whole like ray trace like heavy depth of field plastic Lego bricks looks just
Yeah.
looks amazing. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. Again, short little emotional story about a little Lego child and their
Also,
dad. It's
visual
cool.
style also includes animations, and this has great animations as well.
Yeah, great nomination in my opinion. Better with Friends Awards. There are some games out there that just aren't the same with you play by yourself. Maybe you need to have a friend to watch your back. Maybe you need a friend that you can stab in the back. Either way, fun is awaiting those who gather friends together to play this game. I had a nomination for this, and then I changed it based on the description of the award. I will say that. Do you want to guess?
Oh, right. As in, okay. Is like because of the stab in the back section or
No.
a different section? Okay.
Because it's called the Better with Friends Award. Do you want to have a guess?
Okay. Problem is, you play a lot of.
You don't have to
party
think about it
games.
for too long. You don't have to think about it for too long.
I don't have to think about it.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, because didn't like Fall Guys get like this last year or something?
Yeah, I believe Fall Guys got an award
I'm
like
gonna
this.
guess the new Fall Guys. What's that called? Shit.
Are you saying Crab Game?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I'm saying.
My nomination for Better with Friends Awards is Crab Game.
Oh, nice.
When I first did my first pass through of this, I just read it as best multiplayer game, and my nomination was Halo Infinite. But
Right.
Halo Infinite is a game I could honestly play the multiplayer by myself. If it's a game that's better with friends, I think there's no game that came out this year I've had more fun in playing with friends than Crab Game.
I feel like either or, depending on how you want to interpret that award, makes sense.
But we're going to have a best multiplayer game in our podcast awards, and that will be a different game.
Yeah, before you said like, don't overthink it, I was actually like putting like Halo Infinite there. And it's like, okay.
But yeah. Next up, we have a Labor of Love Award. This game's been out for a while. The team is well past the debut of their creative baby, but being the good parents they are, the dev continues to nurture and support their creation. This game, to this day, is still getting new content after all these years. This is one where you could probably do a nomination. Did you have a nomination for this?
Well, yeah, I nominated what you might expect.
Stellaris?
I had to actually think about which I preferred. Though. I had two.
You had Stellaris and
Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock. I've nominated so I went through all of the usual suspects. So I think honorable mentions for this award are definitely Deep Rock Galactic, Terraria, Subnautica, Don't Starve. Just like games that have been supported forever with free updates and stuff. Like it's just crazy that they're still getting this amount of love to the game after it's been out so long.
Minecraft, that's my nomination.
You've nominated. Well, you can't. People tried to put it on Steam against Mojang's wishes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tony. Gaming Counts in 2021 on Steam. Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh yeah, let's put that on. Wait, I thought this game category could be any. It could come out.
Yeah, it can.
Okay. Well, I would guess for yours, like.
Is the thing with this one? It could be any game from any year.
Again. Yeah. Wait, but you voted Deep Rock Galactic last year, didn't you?
I've done DRG before. Yeah.
Yes, you can't do it again, right?
Well, I think I can because it didn't win, but personally
Oh,
tend
right,
not. I
right.
personally tend not to nominate things again.
Yeah, I don't know then, because I would just guess Deep Rock Galactic if I don't know what
My
else.
winner of Labor of Love Award was Sea of Thieves.
Oh, that's also a game that yes,
This
yeah,
game
that's
has
deserving. Yeah,
Yeah, so this game's been out since 2018, and I was thinking about it. Other
it's
than
like three
the
updates this year alone, right?
just thinking about like the way the game I think did we do No Man's Sky before in this award as well? Like,
Yeah, I think we have done them
just
Sky
thinking
before.
about like Sea of Thieves released not in a bad state like No Man's Sky, but it released in a state where it's sort of bare bones on
Anemic.
content. But they've put so much like work into releasing like great content, community, quality of life, expansive story stuff. Like, I I couldn't think of a game that I hadn't already nominated that was more deserving of this award than Sea of Thieves. I think the work they've put into this game is fantastic. Um, my initial nomination when I was quickly going through it was originally Walkabout Mini Golf.
Really?
No, not Walkabout Mini
Okay.
Golf.
The other one.
What the Golf? Sorry, What the Golf.
Yeah.
Too many golf games, guys. Too many golf. What the Golf, because that came out in 2019, but they keep adding like they've added like several expansions to What the Golf, and it was one of my favorite games of this year. So I was like, I got to talk about What the Golf again because I had so much fun, and they kept putting so much more content into the game for free. They added like level editors and stuff, and they also did. I literally just played like a week ago or so. They added like turkey levels for Thanksgiving to What the Golf. So
Really? Okay. That's
yeah, that was my Labor of Love award. Next up, we have VR game of
Oh,
the
okay. Hang
year.
on. I need to ask you. I can't remember what the one I voted for was now. I put one in.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was. It was the tabletop one.
Demio, whatever it's called.
Demio. Yes, Demio. That's one I put in. I thought that looked really cool. I
Mm.
had not heard of it until I started looking for a VR game to put in the Steam Awards, and it looks fantastic.
My nomination
It's
for
only like one campaign, but it looks good either way.
my nomination for VR Game of the Year award is Walkabout Mini Golf. I think this is the most fun I've had in a VR game this year.
Fair enough.
I mean, currently the VR games you can vote for right now would be Demio, Walkabout Mini Golf. The problem is I now own I Expect You to Die 2, but I haven't played it yet. So that's another one that would be on the list of potential winners for best VR game.
Wait, there was the Wizard come out this year.
Sorry? Waltz of the Wizard. It was an update to the game, it wasn't a release.
Okay.
But this just goes to show you, like, a lot of the VR games that have come out, like, there was Sniper Elite VR came out this year.
Yeah, that was a popular one I saw.
Another one I thought of was Eye of the Temple. The one we did a spotlight on.
Yeah.
That would have been a good nomination for this. But it goes to show you, like, a lot of VR games now are like PSVR exclusive, Oculus exclusive, so you're not going to be able to nominate them for the Steam VR Awards, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And then the final award, the best game I played in 2021 that is available to be voted for on Steam. Maybe it's an immersive gameplay or a gripping story. It's well-crafted characters, immaculate design, addictive multiplayer. Whatever the reason, the winner of this year's Game of the Year was an instant classic. Tony, do you want to take a guess?
I think I know this one. It's the publisher Take-Two, and
the publisher Take-Two has won this award. My Steam Awards Game of the Year award is It Takes Two. I can't think of a game I had more fun playing this year that came out in 2021 than It Takes Two. Fantastic all around. I fucking love this game. It's not just a great co-op game. It's a great game. It's amazing. It's really good.
I didn't like. I feel like I might. Would I have those? I knew like you were saying like how much fun you had with it before, like, even the Tangerine. I was gonna say like I might have been confused, like it might have been like in like the co-op one, but I knew this was like even better than that.
The Tangerine we did was It Takes Two and Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. But I think even before we did that one though, I knew that you said like you was like a great game, like better than even than what you were expecting. You thought it was going to be good.
With A Way Out, it was like there's really good elements, but it felt like it was lacking in other areas.
Yeah.
And A Way Out's not like a crazy long game. With It Takes Two, I was looking at the quality of the game, and I felt like, oh, after like 2 hours, there's no way they're going to be able to keep up with this. Like 4 hours in, there's no way they're going to be able to keep up with this. Like 8 hours in, there's no way they're going to be able to keep this quality of graphics, comedy, voice acting, like the attention to detail. It just keeps going and going and going. And I'm just like, I'm like wondering when the game is going to end, not because I want it to end, because I'm wondering how the hell they're keeping up such a high bar of quality this entire time.
Yeah.
I played the game for about, I think it was about 12 hours of gameplay, and the entire time there is no filler. It is fantastic.
I've only seen 15 minutes of it, and it was fantastic. And it's like just random 15 minutes that you'd be put in the Tangerine, right?
Yep.
Like it wasn't.
Like that's like towards the beginning of the game, but there's so much. There's so much content, and it takes you all over the place in terms of gameplay. Tony, what have I told you? There's literally an entire level in It Takes Two where it's like you're playing Magicka in co-op.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's not just a platformer. Like the gameplay completely shifts around as well, which makes... And the thing as well, both of you always have something to do, and it's probably interesting to play it again just to see the game from the other player's perspective, because you'll have a completely different viewpoint from it.
It's always it's hard to make a co-op game where everyone's having fun all the time, but it sounds like from what I've heard from other people as well, like this is a well received game and a well made game. I was gonna say I think one of the ones that I was thinking of, like I think I was thinking of playing Resident Evil 8 or Village.
Yeah, so I got Resident Evil.
I've watched more of that, and I really like the gameplay is fantastic in that.
So I was thinking about Resident Evil Village as well, but I thought I couldn't, in good faith, put it with. I've only played the demo, so some of them I did put just based on the demo, but that wasn't over a game I had like fully completed, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the only one where I only played the demo was Inscription. Every single other game, all the other games I've played through the entire game. For my nomination.
I can confirm that's true.
Yeah. So
in the link.
Yeah, that's the Steam Awards. It's always nice to think about different categories. Like usually I wouldn't think about innovative gameplay or visual style specifically for a nomination, but specifically think about what game had like a killer soundtrack or stuff like that. That's always interesting to see, but
I don't know what it was this year, but I find this like the hardest year for me to do. Like I couldn't think of like many of these categories at all.
I think it's because for me,
I don't play games as they come out anyway, but
looking back on this year of games and games I really enjoyed, this year is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be remembered, or I will remember it as the year that was carried by indie games. I felt like so many AAA quotation mark games have come out this year where they've been such a big disappointment, where I played some fantastic games came out this year, but most people will remember the disappointments of stuff like, Cyberpunk at the end of 2020 and 2021, the Rockstar, GTA, the Battlefields,
Call of Duty game.
Call of Duty, like people just remember the sort of disappointing stuff. So
I'm missing another big one, but yeah.
But yeah, that's the Steam Award nominations. I'm happy about all of those, and I'm very I will do Games 2021 again for for the podcast awards, where I'll probably have different categories where you'll get to see more games I've played, and they'll have their own distinct categories.
We do it differently.
And I'm also going to be doing, as we do every year, games we played this year that came in any year, because again, I think it's arbitrary to get a game just because it came out this year. As someone who is a patient gamer, someone who enjoys playing games even after they've come out, like as soon as a year ends, a game's not dead to me. Like some of my favorite games I've played, even like 5-10 years after they've released, and I've gone back and I've discovered them. Literally this year I played Fallout New Vegas for the first time completely blind. So that just goes to show you, like, you can discover gems, like, 10, 11 years after they've released.
I'm forgetting the name, the one with the mimics.
Prey 2017.
Prey, yeah.
Well, when we do the podcast awards, Tony, I'm going to be talking a lot about Fallout New Vegas, and I'm going to be talking a lot about Prey 2017, because those are two of my hottest contentions for Game of the Year. So... Game of the year of my game of my year.
Game you played this year, yeah.
Yeah, game of my year.
That's what Donkey does, isn't it? Like he plays like, he's like, what game did I play this year that I think is the best? And it's like, then what is the best game ever made? And it's we know the answer.
Knack 2, baby.
It's that
Super Mario Brothers 2.
I was thinking that like it might be at some point might be like worth like. I mean, it's hard to do because like, there's so many indie games, but you could do like what your movie Tony, does, and like go through each year.
Movies of 2003, like in 2000, stuff like that, which I think is interesting.
It'd be very hard to like make sure you don't miss something though. I feel like.
But again, that focuses your vision to only looking at games in a certain year, which is good to compare them to stuff that came out that sort of year. But then again, I feel like I don't like to limit myself to what I'm playing. Like I have to play a game that came out this year. I'm more so like.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't thinking of it in like replacing like what I'm saying like a series like where like you can like play it whenever you want to play it, but like you don't. But you focus on a year that games came out and go, oh, what was the best game of that year?
But yeah, I feel like the podcasts are getting longer again. We're over the 2-hour mark.
It's end of the year. It's
end of the year. I have a lot to talk about. I'm going to ramble for 3 hours on the podcast awards. I think the podcast award should the podcast award should only be the podcast awards. Otherwise, I'm gonna. There's not going to be any time to talk about news.
We might need to like actually plan to have a break if it's going to be like 3 hours.
We did it in person for the anniversary, didn't we? That'd be interesting. Anyway, we did the beginning of 2020.
Yeah. If it begins in 2020, then yes, for sure.
You remember we did it with Daniel and recorded it with like a webcam and a tripod. The games of 2019 at the beginning of 2020, we did.
I believe majority of that footage, Joe, was actually done using my laptop camera because the one on the tripod didn't work, so it overheated.
It died. Yes, it did. But yeah.
I mean, that brought back the board game section for like the first time in years, and it was the first time in years since as well.
TLDR, games, Daniel's dead.
I do miss board games, but like that definitely was like a content for what increased the length of these podcasts.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to like play like a board game live, or I think like Sit Down and Shut Up does that, or like just we play a board game and we just talk about it in like Tangerine format.
Yeah.
But obviously.
But we haven't been able to do that though.
Yeah, in-person stuff is far and far between.
Like,
I mean,
we like playing it and like talking about like, oh, like we thought this part worked, we thought this part didn't work, I thought this was fun. It's like I feel like we do have stuff to say about board games.
And playing Fury of Dracula for like 3 hours.
Yeah, the first episode would be Fury of Dracula.
For like it was like 5 hours. I think
it was something like 4.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway.
I think the question from everyone else was, are you still playing it?
Peter Molyneux's dead. There's no tweet. That's the end of the podcast. Check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube, twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch live, and at Scorn2000 on Twitter. If there's any audio stuff wrong with this, I'm going to look back at it and I'm going to try and fix it. But I've got a new setup and hopefully everything's going to be good from here on out. The audio quality should be improved, fingers crossed. So make sure to tune in next week.
The video quality is definitely improved at least.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.